from its origins in Venice to an official classified recipe, from a diluted drink left behind by the Austrians to an international sensation enjoyed by all, but with variations understood by few. The Spritz is much more than just a pretty cocktail. Join me and find out everything there is to know about the cocktail known across the world, a Spritz. What is it that makes the Spritz the most popular cocktail in Italy and the 6th most popular cocktail in the world? Whatever it is, I think it's safe to say that it's more than just the sum of its parts. And as a food tour guide working in Italy, it's my mission to find out what that special something is. Let's go find out. And to find out why the world is so crazy about Spritz, we're going to need to head to the place where it was born.
Venice.
An orange gem resting on a blue glass plate is what the writer Henry James called the city of Venice. And that's only too fitting as the birthplace for this orange-colored cocktail. But the name doesn't sound that Italian, and you'd be right. So why is that? This cocktail holds some secrets that we're going to go uncover. In fact, the word is German and means to spray. So it's born in Venice, but has a German name. Why? Well, thanks to the Austrians. You see, while the Venetian Republic lasted for over 1,100 years, the party came to an end when Napoleon took over. The city was filled with Austrian soldiers, diplomats, merchants, and bureaucrats who were more used to drinking beer rather than wine, which was twice as strong, and they didn't go down so well with them. So to avoid getting too drunk and potentially drowning in one of Venice's many canals, the soldiers asked the bartenders to fix them a drink that they knew from back home. In Austria, a gespritzter is essentially nothing more than white wine and soda water. Now, while this may have seemed odd to local bartenders, I think anything to keep hordes of soldiers from getting too drunk was a good thing, I suppose. So the gespritzter became the Spritz, and well, how did this diluted white wine become the orange globe that is drunk on all the terrazzas in Italy and throughout the world? There's one thing missing. Let's go find out. Well, the Austrians left, Venice joined Italy, and people began experimenting in the production of different signature Italian bitter liqueurs distilled from a vast array of plants and botanicals. In Venice, they were added to the already existing Spritz cocktail. And prego, the Spritz was born. Nowadays, you can enjoy your Spritz in one of two ways. Either al banco, which means elbow leaning on the counter of any of your local baccaro or local bar for €3.50 or €4, very unpretentious aperitivo with some friends. Or al tavolo, which means seated at the table of a beautiful terrazza with a nice view, but with a certain upcharge for the service, of course. Like here at Café Quadri, which is one of the oldest cafe houses in Venice at St. Mark's Place. But it would take more than a century for the Spritz to conquer the rest of Europe, thanks in large part to a very active marketing campaign by the Campari group, owners of the famous Aperol, that they tried to sell as the key ingredient in making a Spritz cocktail. Now there's one more very important question that you need to be able to answer if you plan on ordering a Spritz or making one yourself at home, and that is, come lo vuoi? To answer this question, all waiters are going to ask you if you order a Spritz. You need to know your options. The most popular is the Aperol Spritz, or the Spritz Veneziano, or Spritz Dolce. It's sweeter, the bitterness is milder, and the spirit is lower proof than Campari, resulting in a much lighter aperitif. Then there's the Spritz Bitter, aka Campari Spritz. The drink is more of a crimson red, heavier on the bitter notes, and usually served with a slice of lemon instead of orange. But if you want to get super local Venetian style, you'd opt for a Spritz Select. Ruby red bitter born in Venice in the 1920s, made with rhubarb and juniper. And, most unusual, would be the Cynar Spritz, made with Cynar, a bitter obtained from artichokes. While your choice of aperitivo may vary, the rest of the recipe is always the same. Making a Spritz doesn't require any mixology skills. While every bartender will use different proportions, we'll use the ones officialized by the International Bartenders Association. The IBA codified the recipe for the Venetian Spritz. To a big wine glass or tumbler glass filled with ice, add 6 centiliters of Prosecco, 4 centiliters of Aperol, give it a light stir, and finally garnish with an orange wedge, and for extra local points, a nice big green Sicilian olive. Now, although we've learned almost everything there is to know about the Spritz, there are still a few things that I recommend you avoid. Spritz is officially classified as an aperitivo, meaning it's meant to open your evening and is best paired with some finger food like chips or olives, but not really that great for your main meal. The reason being is that it's got a lot of powerful flavors that would dominate and overpower the subtle fragrances of your food. So I recommend keeping the Spritz for the afternoon as an aperitivo and then sticking to the wine for your dinner table. Second of all, I would say ditch the plastic cups. Let's keep our orange gems in our glasses to keep our oceans nice and blue. Salute. I've had a lot of different types of Spritz today, and I think I finally found the connection to what makes this drink so iconic. I mean, of course, it's the vibrant orange color in the marketing campaign, but there's something more. I think it's the timeless connection that it has to an absolute jewel of a city that is Venice. And so in the process, I learned the story of not only a cocktail, but about a city and its origins. And I hope you did too and enjoyed it. And that's what we're gonna do on this channel, exploring the origins and the stories of regional dishes and cocktails across the world. See you next time. Salute.